We're going to do a little review on what we've been doing for the last 23 weeks and try to reintroduce it to all of the new subscribers that we have. I want everybody to understand the flow and the go of what we're doing as we embark on this journey together on our 52 weeks Emergency Preparedness Challenge. Follow along. Hi, this is Vicki with the 411, and we are on week 24 of our 52-week Emergency Preparedness Challenge. Thank you for subscribing and following and sharing and liking. If you have not done so, please do. I would love your support. We're going to talk a little bit about each category as we go through today, just because we have so many people that have joined since we started this in January, and I want everybody to feel completely aware of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And starting July, I'm going to introduce a new category that we're going to have on our list of things. So our categories are 6 categories right now. It's food, things you need to buy for your household, things for your 72-hour survival kit or your bug out bag, your emergency money that we put money in each week for emergencies down the road, and family prep is just things that you're doing. We've started with a tub. We've added things to our tub that we want to be able to take with us if we have a long-term evacuation. But it's just things that you do to get your family prepared for what we're working on. And then there's water storage and what we're working on to build our water storage up for our families. Water is the one thing you cannot live without. You can go hungry for a long time, but you cannot go thirsty for very long. So let's go over what we're going to do for this week. And starting next week, not next week, starting in July, which is about 3 more weeks, we will start a My Favorite Things category so that I can share with you some of the things that I've collected, things that I have found that is going to make my emergency storage better and our survival out if we have to rely on our emergency survival stuff, things that'll be convenient and nice to have, not required, but handy dandy things that are nice to have. So let's get started on our food for this week. It says we need 3 jars of molasses and 10 pounds of sugar. Now, I have a couple of jars of molasses in my cabinet. The only thing I've ever used molasses for, the only thing that I know that it's good for is it's a sweetener with your baking things, but it's perfect if you're doing gingerbread houses or gingerbread men. And it's also really good in barbecue sauce. So if you make your own barbecue sauce, it'd be a good thing to have. And these little bags that I love so well, they hold a little over 10 pounds. I kind of have mine a little too full. But this definitely will hold a 10-pound bag of sugar. So I will repost the link to those in the description. And that's it for our food for today. So in our household section, it says we need to get a box of construction cleanup bags. Now, I don't know if you've ever had to go through storage rooms that have been flooded out and stuff like that, but these are huge bags. They are very sturdy, handy dandy to throw your junk away and not worry about getting halfway to the big dumpster and your flopsy, flimsy bag breaks on you. We had to help clean my sister-in-law's storage room out after Hurricane Helene came through. And just the cardboard boxes and the paper and stuff, it was just nice to you need something that you can throw that all into and haul it to your local dumpster or wherever you're going to take your debris to. Very sturdy. They say that they're 3 milliliters thick and they're 42 gallons. So that's a pretty good size bag. Good for cleanups after any kind of emergency disaster. In our 72-hour survival kits, we are going to add a first aid manual, and they come in a variety of things. Like I have a really nice first aid kit out in my family household tub, and it comes with a nice book on how to do a lot of things. Also in my first aid kit, I have a Boy Scout handbook, because not only does this have a good section in here on first aid, it also has cooking ideas and knots that you might want to need to tie. Poisonous animals, poisonous insects and snakes. It's just got a lot of valuable information that I'm keeping this in my first aid kit. So, and then it says to get some comfort reading, whether you're into um, World War II books or love romance books, have some type of enjoyable comfort time reading that will just kind of helps calm things down when you just need a little quiet time to yourself, and get a good book and start reading, and take your mind off of the the stress that's going on if you're evacuated somewhere. Okay, so for our emergency money, we are adding $24 this week. This is week 24, and we're starting to get a nice little buildup of some good money in there. Keep up the good work. I know that's probably the hardest part of a challenge, but remember that sometimes during storms and things like that, there's no internet, and a lot of businesses that could be open because they have power will not be able to process a credit card. You're going to want cash on hand if it's just to buy simple foods and comfort things that you need for your family. So that's why we're doing this emergency money. In our family prep, it says to review, catch up, and practice. So I want you to review with your family your evacuation plan out of your home. Review with your family your neighborhood path, who in your neighborhood are safe people to contact. Practice walking some in your neighborhood with your backpacks, and then be able to have your not fire drills, but any kind of drill that gets you out of the house and onto your evacuation plan. And just remember, when you have that plan in place, you are 2 hours ahead of anybody else that is scrounging to make an emergency plan. So you've got the upper hand on that. Want to track just a little bit on the backpacks. I had a comment from one of my viewers that said when I was out walking with my backpack that I don't have a good backpack to be walking and hiking in. And he's absolutely correct. I do have backpacks if I was going to the mountains and going to camp, hike in and camp. It's the bigger ones on a frame that has the straps, goes around your waist. But the backpacks that I'm putting in now are smaller, and they have a handle for the sole purpose of picking it up and throwing it in my car, and everything I need is organized. If I have to walk, if I have to go any distance, then I can do that. But it's not for the purpose of strapping on and hiking into the mountains for a week-long hike, things like that. No, you definitely need a hiker's backpack if you're going to do something like that. But this is just something that you can store in a closet near the most popular exit in your house that you can grab and go and have stuff to last a day, 2 or 3 days. That's the purpose of our 72-hour survival, are our bug out bags, not for hiking in the mountains. So anyway, then the last thing on our list this week is our water. So add $10 more into our water barrel storage, barrel purchase, and add 3 more gallons of water per person. And I know that's starting to become tough for some people. So do the best you can, store it the best way you can, and just know that for even trying, you are going to be at more ease to know that you have something stored better than nothing stored. So if you can find room to throw a few more gallons of water in somewhere, it's a good thing to do it. Now, at the end of June, when we hit our week 26, we're going to have a big review of how much cash we should have in our backpacks, how much water we should have stored per person in our family. And that will be a time for you to kind of step back, look at what you've got, make a plan of where you need to be, and we'll start working on that. So that's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and share with your family and friends and get them on the journey with us. And we'll see you next week. Thanks.